That's right back, Charlie. That's right.
People deluded, I'm back again.
Come on, Ian, man. Come on. Fan show settings, people deluded. I'm back again. I got the man them tuned in. It's been quite an eventful couple of days for us, man. How you doing, folks? Man, we got a lot to discuss.
Boy.
Oh shit! Did I get rid of everyone? My bad. Playing around with stuff. My bad.
It's all right. We're not that important.
Hey, rare mistake. Ramsdale tick.
The people have seen enough of you already today, DG. Come on, man. It's our time.
I want you not here, man. I want to hear you lot's thoughts on everything, man. Before we get to PSG, talk to me about Leicester, lads, man. That was an eventful game.
Boy.
Best way to describe it.
Boy, I can't lie, yeah. When I was watching that game, yeah, the moment, yeah, that it hit 2-2, yeah, and we was getting towards the latter part of the game, yeah, my connection to the streams I was watching was moving mad. So I'm stressing out, yeah, the thing freezing. I'm like, oh, man, am I gonna miss a goal while I'm disconnected? Nothing was loading, and I was like, oh man, am I gonna miss everything? But then I came back, yeah, and the moment I came back, we got the goal, and I was like,
game, set, match.
Say no more, you know what I mean? Say no more, because really and truly, if we're being honest, Arsenal of like 4 or 5 years ago, that's a L.
And at one point, I thought Leicester would get the third. I'll be real.
Do you know what I mean? And that's the trauma that we have as Arsenal fans.
Facts.
We just think, yo, we've conceded to. By the way, yeah, nobody's saving either of them goals in it. So the rivals that are coming out at Arsenal's defense numbers for that, yeah, I think it's a bit of a strange one in it, because nobody's saving them thing there, yeah. But then, you know, we just finished the job in it. So I like the fact that we can be in the lead, fumble the lead, and still be mentally strong enough to push until the very end to get the W. And that's what champions do. Do you know what I mean? That's the way of the champions. You get me? So, boy, Leicester behind us now. You know, I'm actually happy that Leicester's behind us now. And hopefully Southampton don't, well, Ramsdale, innit? Watch, Ramsdale's going to turn into prime Neuer as well. So
exactly what I've been saying.
So we got to deal with that. But I think it was a good game. And we're definitely stronger off of the back of that. I feel like that's one of those results that kind of gives everyone that belief that, oh, okay, we can.
We've actually got that dog in us, man.
Yeah, man, got that dog. So yeah, man, I'm happy, man. I'm happy.
I thought that was our best performance of the season, and one of our best performances I've seen in a long time, especially in the first 45 minutes. Complete, utter domination. We saw Calafiori and Timber. I thought they were on fire in terms of what they're doing, the rotations, you know, having that overlap, coming inside, looking so comfortable in every aspect of the pitch. It's crazy because we always talk about these players and how good they are technically, but looking at how comfortable they are in every situation as well. It's like Ajax back in the day. You know, when you talk about Johan Cruyff's Ajax, about
careful. I thought United were Ajax with Ten Hag, man.
Yeah, having players that could play everywhere, and not look like they're out of place. And Timber and Calafiori, that kind of like, whoa, gave us a new light. Because with Ben White, big up Ben White every time, he's amazing. But when he plays at right back, it's a little bit more simpler. Like, I don't think we've seen Arteta invert him as much as we thought he would.
It's conservative. It's like a third centre half, essentially. Big up Ben, though, man.
third centre half and an overlap. That's what we generally see. Whereas Timber, he can do the inverted thing from there as well, playing in central areas. Look at Calafiori. Look at how he was roaming. He was on the right wing a couple of times. We've given him that sort of Zinchenko license to roam and having that freedom and not having any shackles on him, but also having the quality and the end products and the 1v1 defending that Zinchenko doesn't have. That physically, like I was talking, you know, we hear a lot about his aura, like a lot of man on Twitter and that start talking about his looks, but I'm talking about his aura in terms of how he played. Yeah, that's a player that you do not miss, how physically dominant he was in that, and technically how he roams around the pitch, it was crazy. So, and then the chances that we create in Saka having his best game in a while, like it was just beautiful stuff. And having that many shots, I think we ended off with like 36 shots on goal in that one. So it just showed you like this is us taking another level in the next step. Of course, we had lapses of concentration, especially in the beginning of the second half. But again, after I know, like I do think these are a bit of those teething problems you have at this stage of the season. That's fine. Leicester capitalized that. Yeah, it was a little bit of a dodgy deflection, that left, right, no chance. But then the finish from Justin. Whoa.
Sometimes you have to applaud. That was a serious goal, to be fair.
Exactly. You don't see that often. So when I was watching it, it felt like I said to my sister who I was watching it at the time, I went, yeah, it's just one of them days, you know. It's just one of them days, especially when you're seeing that Hermanson in goal pulling out the performance that he did.
Big performance from him, yeah.
This is football, just doing football things. Like this is why we love the game, though, isn't it, man? Then because it's so unpredictable.
Only when we win, man. Let's be honest. Only when we win, man.
Only when we win. But in the end, we got the result. And 4-2, yeah, it looked a bit hairy, scary, but nah, man, I was very happy with that performance on Leicester.
So I was too nice, man. And I've got a different take on this completely. I was disappointed. I'm going to be honest. I know we won. I get that. I hear that. And I understand the 2 goals. Could we have done anything to stop them? Maybe not. But we should never have even let them have hope. That's the problem I have with it. These are the kinds of games that I want to go into and just absolutely destroy them. I want to humiliate these teams. I want us to be that team that can go into these games and absolutely destroy any hope they have of even being in the Premier League. I want them questioning their life decisions. That's what I want them walking out of that game with. You know, I want to traumatize these teams because the reality is, right, we've been traumatized in the past as well. Now, I'm with Hawks, all the streams, right? I don't know, perfect times, yeah, they find to go off. I don't know how they do it, but they just go off at the right time. It's like something's about to happen. Oh, yeah, stream's not working. Oh, shit, I need to find another. So it was hard, though, because trying to keep up the emotions, you're behind the stream. So if you do just happen to open your WhatsApp, if you happen to open Twitter, I already knew we scored. So it was so annoying because like I was annoyed and I didn't want to celebrate. And I was just like, yeah, thank you for getting the job done. Because I agree with the lads. Like, you know, it was arguably one of our best performances. It was arguably, you know, one of our more complete performances. Yes, it showed the mentality of, you know, dropping 2 goals and not dropping our heads and actually keep fighting for the win. And obviously Ethan deserves a lot of credit for turning that
game up as well.
Because he came on brave, you know, 2-2. You know that can turn ugly because, like, being 2-0 up and going 2-2, bringing Ethan on, it can bring a lot of pressure on a young lad, like, especially the post-match. You know what this fan base can be. It can be very flippity-floppy with especially play. Why did Arteta bring Ethan on when we need to go and win a game? Why did he do this? Why did he bring a youngster on?
You're right.
But no, credit to him, and he came on, took the ball and said, yo, this is my game. Within the first few minutes, right, he took a shot from 30 yards that nearly could have gone in if it wasn't for their keeper having an absolute blinder. The only time a keeper's had this level of performance was David De Gea against us, when we had like 15 to 20 shots and the man saved everything. So he could have saved the Titanic that day. But, you know, that's the level of performance that man was having. And, you know, it's one of those performances where I do want to say I am a bit critical of the fact that we let a 2-0 go, especially against Leicester. And I understand football is a wonderful sport. That's why we love it, and shit happens. But I'm so glad we got the win because a 2-2, let's be honest, are we going to sit here and praise this team? Are we going to praise the Saka performance? Are we going to praise these things? Probably not, because we should never have been in that situation. But they got the job done. So I'm not going to complain too much because we did win. So I don't want to make it feel like we lost a game that we didn't lose. So credit to them, because that's a mentality shift and a culture shift that we've had. Because Arsenal of like many past, right, this would have been that kind of game that we lose 3-2. Even though Leicester could never have got that third because of how we took control of the game. But these are the kinds of games where I do have that PTSD moment of, shit, our heads better not drop. You know, what are we going to do against PSG? How are we going to bounce back from this if, you know, these are the sorts of performances we're having? So credit to them. I mean, we've had 2 games where we've had to play with 10 men. We've had adverse, you know, because we've always asked, what does Arteta do when adversity hits? And so far, the guy's been a star. He's answered every single question, every single problem in the most perfect way, because we can't criticize the approach against Man City. We can't criticize the Brighton approach. We can't criticize, you know, the 2-2 and the substitutions that were made. So credit to him, because clearly the man's learning every single season. He's upping a level that we didn't see him doing.
What do you lot make of Martinelli then? Because obviously, if I'm pretty sure if I can remember, he got a goal and assist. You lot think he's back?
No.
I thought we was going to spread some PR here, man.
No,
hey,
man.
remember last week? I'm interested to hear what you're going to say, Hooks, man, because I was telling the man them be patient with Martinelli.
Nah,
back,
man. I'm not having it, man. Like, the thing is, I knew, like, when I was watching the game, I was like, oh, these man everywhere are just gonna be like, oh, Martinelli's back, the gassing is gonna start, bro. I just knew it's what Arsenal fans are like, innit? But then immediately brought back down to earth, because in the very next game, he misses 2 chances that he should have put in the back of the net. So this is what I mean. Like, obviously, I'm happy that he got the goal and the assist in it. I'm happy for him, more so than anything else in it, because I feel like it's one of them ones where maybe he's starting to question himself and be like, whoa, like, should I really?
I might not be that guy, man.
Yeah, man. So Martinelli's a confidence player in it. So, and me personally, I can't stand confidence players in it. Like, I believe if you're a baller,
That's fair.
Baller and be a baller all the time in it. Like, you don't need the roses and the praise and all them thing there to do what.
Be level-headed.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Cause like, do you know what it is? Yeah, you get paid so much money. Yeah, all you do is kick ball. How are you dead? That's my thought process, isn't it? Like,
you do it like that.
That's a bad process to have, man. The money doesn't mean you should be good at something. Like, I'm
bro,
gonna be real.
Nah, he's not saying it like that. He's not saying it like that.
I'm being so real with you. Yeah, if I was a baller, yeah, and I'm getting paid 100 grand a week, brethren. By the way, I'm the best baller that ever done did live, bro. Cause what else am I doing apart from kick ball, sleep, see gal, kick ball, sleep, bro? That's all I'm doing, bro. How am I not levels, bro? I have no stress.
It happens, man. It's
Outside the ball,
sports, isn't it?
bro.
You're gonna have a blip. It shit happens. It's not about the money you're earning. Just because you're earning like 200, even if you're earning $1 million a week, it can happen.
Bro, put it this way, yeah. So, you know, if you work a normal job and you have a dead week at your job, yeah, bro, it's pain, because you can't just go out on the weekend and super splash them. But if I'm a baller and I have that one dead game, bro, let me just fly here for the day, you know, for the day. Like, bro, not even a second thought, bro. How am I ever sad? I don't understand.
How like that? I can't disagree, man.
Bro, whoever shouts my phone, oh, Hooks,
it doesn't mean Martinelli ain't happy though. Like, he might be happy, but just having
he don't look happy, bro. I'll be real. He don't look happy, bro. And I can tell by the way he's performing, bro.
Yeah, okay.
So look, obviously, you wear the Arsenal badge in it. You get me? So man will forever support you. Even when we've had some of the most diabolical players, like after I put my pain aside.
Don't lie. We all hounded Rob Holding out. Let's not.
But even with Rob Holding, yeah, bro. Like for me, it was never a thing of like, you get me, hire hitman to ensure that he can never play for us. Like it was more of a like, you get me. I'm cool for you to be there as long as you don't come on the pitch, bro. I got no problem with you being.
So where did the support go? That's what I'm saying.
But my support is for you. Like you getting to be part of Arsenal, innit? Like, yeah, you made some funny videos. There you go. I like them on Twitter. All them thing there. That's my support for Rob Holding, bro. But Martinelli, yeah, get behind him, bro. You have to. You just have to get behind him, innit? So that's my until he does something crazy. That's my thing with all players. Until
what's crazy? What's crazy though?
Don't you think that finish was crazy? That was a very difficult finish, you know. The ball's coming away from him, and he's falling over as well, and he wrapped it into the corner. That was a Trossard-esque finish.
Bro. I'm a keep it 100, yeah.
Bro. It's not that crazy, was it?
Bro, Bro, that was lucky, bro. His technique was abysmal, bro. Like,
That's harsh, man.
Nah, man. That
bro,
is
No, but either way, what's crazy? Like, what is this? What's the idea of a hat trick? Or are we talking like a 40
that's
yard
crazy. You have to do
what's...
something. You have to do something crazy for me to not support you while you're wearing.
Oh, I thought you meant like you had to do something crazy to say he's back. Okay, I get what you mean.
To say for me to say that Martinelli's back, yeah, I need to see in like a 10-game period, yeah, like you're getting goals and assists in it. Like,
All right, can I make you feel a bit more confident, Martin? Because I've been on his back as well. I've said like, yo, he needs to buckle up on it, otherwise man's gonna be seeing 10th place teams. Man might have to go to Mandem ballers and that, you know. So I'm with you on that. But you know, at the end of the day, with Merino coming in, Calafiori coming in, I actually genuinely do believe they're the two players that can unlock Martinelli. Now,
I'm not gonna lie, we're still running that. Are we still running that?
Man. Yeah, come on.
I'm not gonna lie. Let's let him finish, and then we'll intercept.
Yeah,
I've got time to say on that as well.
I'll explain the tacticals. Me and Arteta, we had a bit of a conversation.
This guy,
you know,
man.
so we know what we're doing here. Now, but on a real though, like when you look at Mikel, right, and the way that he plays, and I'm talking Merino when I say that. For me, what you need to do with Martinelli, right, to get the best out of him is take away any thinking, take away the ability to actually have more than one job to do. And that's getting closer to go. Get him in the box. Get him into that. Because every time he plays as an inside forward is when he starts to cook. He actually looks good. Because in the more recent games, that's what we've done. Man City, for example, as well. We didn't play him as a winger. We've actually brought him more inside and brought him closer to goal.
Has he played as a winger in the last 2-3 years, though? Has it been this inside forward thing?
No, because if you look at his heat map, it's more of a winger than an inside forward, as it from last season. But when Calafiori, for example, has come in, because Calafiori likes to touch the touchline a bit more than a Zinchenko or even a Urian Timbers or a Kiwior, it's allowed Martinelli to come inside and tuck inside, and that's what's going to unlock him. What you'll find is Merino likes to also do that. Even against PSG, you saw it in facets of the game where he wanted to go wide and he was actually making wide channel runs. And that's what's going to allow Martinelli to have that freedom to come inside and actually play kind of a pseudo striker. And that's when I feel after that, if Martinelli, after Merino and Calafiori are there, still has stinkers, I'm sorry, brother. You go to relegation side. You join Ramsdale at Southampton.
Looking at alone, man. Really?
It's done. You can't, there's enough. I don't care. Go even if you went and we pay on all expensive Barbados trip, fam, you still ain't gonna come back any good. Bro, like you can't. You know what it is, and I'll say this here. It's impossible, right, for Martinelli not to cook with Merino and Calafiori on that left hand side. It's impossible.
Yeah, but go on, Hooks.
So then I don't know, because I've got to ask you, yeah, like, do you really want, yeah, a player, yeah, playing for a side the level of Arsenal, who you just said the way to make Martinelli good is to make him not have to think?
Yeah.
What? So you want an idiot in your?
I see what he means. I see what he means. But that's a good point.
I don't know. Like, look here, Martinelli.
Put him in situations where he's got 1-2 choices. That's probably just one choice, and that's it.
I hear it, but I think our system is way too technical for you to need a player.
Also true.
I feel like he can be a good option. I do hear you. Like, look, my stance on Martinelli as it stands is, I feel like he's a good utility player, like someone that we need to have as an impact player, someone who could come off the bench and do kind of a role when a game isn't going our way and we need a goal, because that's what he can do. But for me, I don't know, because look, at the end of the day, the window isn't open. There isn't something that we can go and get a left winger. Yes, I get it. We can play Raheem Sterling. But for me, the problem is Trossard never starts well. And when he does, he's been playing better as a number 10. So the kind of issue that we have is we don't really have anyone that we can play. So what do? Find a solution for the best thing that we can have, which is get Martinelli closer to goal. That's the only way that we can rectify it until we have a window. I'm with you guys. Like I'm not sitting here and saying that Martinelli's the solution. Do I want him in the team? I'm a bit more kind of finding a solution for the problems we currently have, and how can we get to January, let's say, or how can we get to the summer if he's going to be one of the options.
I hear you with that, yeah. I hear you. You're not wrong. Like, you know, players need partnerships and all of that stuff, yeah. But at the end of the day, Martinelli's the first choice. For all his volatile form, he's still been playing. So that tells you where Arteta rates him, whether he could have brought someone in or not. And I agree with what your points are, yeah. But at the end of the day, for me, it's like Martinelli's still impacting games. He's still involved. The defensive output is still there. You're getting into the places to have chances. My issue with Martinelli is once you're in that box now, it's the level of finishing. So how much does Merino and Calafiori and all these guys help him when it's you versus the goalie? Because sometimes you're shooting with the wrong foot and all these things.
It's high volume chances now. His conversions will be low, but he'll have a high volume of chances which will result in goals.
Which has happened in the last few weeks, even without Merino and Calafiori playing in the left back. Had it against Spurs, had it against City, and now we've seen it in the last 2 games. That's what I think, and that's why I'm like, I've liked what I've seen from Martinelli. I've liked that because he's getting into those positions. Trust me, the difference between him and Trossard, we know how clinical Trossard is in those situations, but the threat that Martinelli gives you and what he gives you from an off-the-ball perspective, even just with a running behind. Look at yesterday, man, Dem. That chance where he nearly got on the end of it with Donnarumma.
Trossard volley as well. Praying that went in, the volley. I was praying he scored that.
I'll be honest, that had to go in, man. That was one of those.
That's harsh. The volley
had to, man. Let's be real, man.
Oh, he hit that first time. I can't lie, and I've been critical of Mane, but that one's harsh, man. You should have put it either side, but that one's harsh.
But look, those little things, those off the ball running and that's what I love from Martinelli, and that's what we need, and that's the difference. And when the criticism has come of him last season, he wasn't doing that. I was heavily critical of Martinelli because he was being a touchline winger and he wasn't coming inside and he wasn't looking to create any relationships. Whereas now he's coming inside, he's getting chances. Yes, he's missing them, but I'm glad that he's getting these chances because once upon a time last season, where we was having a conversation here, Arsenal's chance creation isn't looking very good. Arsenal, we look so imbalanced. I
still think it needs to go up as well, I'll be real.
Exactly. And now, out of his last 3 games, he's got 2 assists and a goal. So he should have scored yesterday. He should have
7 more, and then Hooks might change his opinion. Then
that's what I'm happy. I'm happier with that. And yes, this is where I think DG, when you explained it, you was spot on. Like, you praise what Martinelli's done to get to that point. Now, my thing is, are you going to finish? Are you going to finish when we get there? That's what I need to see the improvement in. And now he's got that goal, and now we're seeing some consistency in his performances and him getting those chances. Now it's about finishing. You're consistently getting there. Now you got to finish, because we know if Sterling came into the team, and Sterling's doing the exact same thing, missing plenty of chances, because that's all he's done ever in his career. But the difference why Sterling was so good at Man City is because he had kept getting what you said, Souls, the volume of chances.
Yeah, high volume.
And that's why he scored like 30 plus goals in 1 year. Like, that's what I want from Martinelli. Get them volume and then consistently, and then show some finishing. Someone put it in the chat about Martinelli being he's overperformed his XG this season. I mean, that's the prime Martinelli. He's a top finisher. There was once upon a time we were talking about him being the best
XG
finisher.
Is a skewed stat though. Like I wouldn't.
Yeah, it's a bit.
No, but the whole point is that Martinelli in his 22-23 season, his finishing was on point. But he was getting into those positions. We didn't see that last year, and now I'm seeing it again. And then, as soon what you said there, Souls, now he's going to be able to build some relationships with the Calafiori and Merino. Because last season we never had and I still put 80% of blame on Martinelli. But last season we didn't have any relationships to create. Our left back situation changed every week. We had Kai Havertz in that left central midfield, which we probably won't see that.
To be fair, Rice was learning that 8 thing as well.
Rice was learning exactly. So those were still factors, but overall, I'm seeing a massive difference in Martinelli last season to this season. So yeah, as long as he keeps doing it, I'm confident he'll get the 10 goals in the Premier League minimum.
I can't lie, it's 10 enough though.
It's not.
It has to return.
No, it's not. No, it's not. I want the 15 goals where he got to, but we'll have to wait and see. The reason I question that, because I don't think he'll necessarily start every game like he did last in the 22-23 season when he got the 15.
If he got dropped tomorrow, go on. Someone says something.
No, because of Sterling and trust. That's all I was saying.
If Martinelli got dropped tomorrow, who for you lot gets the left hand channel? Like, if for some reason Martinelli, God forbid, he's injured, someone obviously needs to play on the left hand side. Is it Jesus? Is it Sterling? Does Trossard go over there? Obviously, there'll be holes in midfield. Who's the next in line for you lot?
Raza.
I hear it.
Yeah, most definitely. For me, he should be playing already. I won't lie. For me, he should be playing
Hooks, that's a mad thing to come from you, I'm not gonna lie. That's
Nah,
mad to hear from you.
For me, bro, like he should be playing already, bro. Like
But
I'm
he's
sorry,
got the
yeah.
same problems Martinelli currently has. That's why I'm a bit
Nah,
confused.
man, nah.
All right, go on, explain.
Raheem, my brother, Raheem, yeah, he's come from the darkness, bro. He just left Gotham City, yeah, so his confidence, yeah, is in the mud, bro. But as soon as his confidence, yeah, comes into play, which I don't think it will take 20 to 30 games like Martinelli, bro, you're gonna see the difference on the left wing, bro. The thing about Sterling, yeah, that's different to Martinelli is Sterling actually allows Saka to play better because defenders are not going to be like, well, managers are not going to be like, yeah, make sure you're 2 or 3 manning up on Saka, because if you leave Sterling free on the left hand side, bro, it's problems.
Sterling's game's better when he's inside as well, to be fair.
Yeah, bro, it's problems. When I don't think anyone really cares if they leave Martinelli with like that extra bit of space, because they're probably confident in A, getting back to him, and B, if they don't get back to him, if he shoots, he's probably not scoring.
His decision making once he gets in that final third, his head's down, unfortunately.
Yeah, bro, I'm sorry, yeah. I've seen way too much football in my life, yeah, to ever try and big up a guy who can't dribble with his head up, bro. Like, I'm sorry, you're a winger and you can't dribble with your head up, bro. I'm sorry, bro. From me, for that, it's done, bro. Like, look, maybe he's probably a really nice guy. I got nothing against him as a person, bro. Like, I'm happy that we was able to save him from the favelas, bro. And now he's getting his big P's, and you get me, Leicester Square with the family and that, and first class flights and all them thing there, bro. I'm happy for you, bro. I like to see people leave the mud and go to glory, innit? But he is not good enough currently, yeah. And we are not in a position where we can be doing, okay, let's try the experiment to get him back to good form, when we have not necessarily the finished article, but someone who is highly experienced in playing in the Premier League and being successful in the Premier League. Give him the time. Start him. Bring Martinelli off the bench. Maybe Martinelli comes off the bench, legs are tired, he finds a way, bags a few goals.
Which is what Saul was saying as well.
Exactly. Confidence starts rising. And then once his confidence is at a place where, the old Martinelli's back, then we can start having the conversations about who should be starting on the left-hand side. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that anyone really thinks that Martinelli is, well, I would hope not, is a better winger than Raheem Sterling. Like, I hope not. Hopefully, like, maybe we can say ceiling-wise, potential might have the capabilities of surpassing him. But right now, I don't think anyone can say that with a straight face and a hand on their heart, bro. Like, so why are we?
Yeah.
Why are we advocating for this?
I'm just biased with Martinelli. I love the lad, didn't it? Like, I could be non-biased to say he needs to be dropped, but that's just me. And Martinelli's my guy. I'm just with him to the end.
I hear it, bro. I hear it. Like, everybody's got those players that they're ride or die in it.
Because I remember when we were shit and Martinelli was on this, man, for all his faults. I remember when he was on this.
But we're not shit anymore.
Which is also true.
So maybe when, you got the dead man around you, you look like the star, bro. But when the stars come in, bro, you're no longer the diamond, you're the pebble that you kick down the road, bro. Like, so I'm just saying, innit? Like, again, nothing against the guy, and I hope.
Feels very personal right now, though.
I really do hope, yeah, that he becomes this guy in the next 10 games, yeah, that you, man, think that he is, because that only works in my favor, yeah. But I hope that it doesn't go the way that I think it's gonna go, bro, because then it goes against all of us, bro. All of us fall, bro.
Yeah, it does. We all support Arsenal.
I don't mind falling alone. I don't mind. I'm not wrong and strong. Yeah. I'll happily fall alone.
I think, and I said this last week, I did say it, and you man can hold me to it. I said that goals would start to come last week, and everyone here was skeptical. And I said his performances, from what I've seen, was definitely improved.
He's got a bag against Southampton as well.
And he scored against Leicester, grabbed an assist, and he should have scored last night. Yeah. So I'm happy with his performances. Marvin said it earlier in the chat about what he gives us off the ball. That is why I'd still start him against Southampton, because I don't think Sterling's physically at the level yet. And Arteta's spoken about it, and I kind of seen it in his little cameos, even against Spurs, and then against Bolton. He's not quite there in terms of the off the ball play, in terms of how we are.
But if I play devil's advocate, when is he going to get that? Because in terms of starting, you might, if that's the logic, you're probably not going to start till Preston away at the end of the month.
Probably not, unless injury calls or something like that. But I'm expecting him to get more minutes and for him to build in terms of that aspect. When he came on against Leicester, we was chasing the game, so it was a little bit different there. So you didn't really need to focus on that. But with that, that's where the opportunities will come. We've got plenty of games coming, by the way. We've still got plenty. And I'd still start with Martinelli up against Southampton. That's who my choice would be. Because, of course, we're not going to have Odegaard back, so Trossard's still going to play. But yeah, again, if he doesn't perform so well in 60 minutes against Southampton, you've got Raheem Sterling there to come off the bench, and then he's going to have 30 minutes. And if he shines, then he probably starts the next game. That's the good thing about competition within the squad, right? Like, look at this. We was all talking about 2 weeks ago. We was all like talking about Ben White right back, and then it's all the question at left back. Now people are talking about, but does Ben White even come back in the team?
People saying Ben White count his days. You might end up how Tini and these lot ended up, which I think is farcical, but fair enough.
I don't agree with that, but this is what the level we have to if we're going to compete. And as I said last week, we need to win, and we need to go aim to win everything. We need everyone in our squad to be performing quite well. I'm happy with Martinelli's performances in since probably Spurs. I'd say since Spurs, I've been happy.
So what? No Gabriel Jesus left wing shouts. Another one that I'm with to the end, even though he looks very bleak, Jesus.
He's done out here, bro.
Yeah,
he's done.
He does look done.
I'm not defending this. Yeah, because
he's done out here, bro. Like
I got 30 seconds against Leicester. Time wasted subs,
bro. Like Jesus, you know, this is the guy that came from the team that was winning leagues, bro. To what 30 seconds at the end of the game, bro. He's done, bro. I'm sorry. I wanted it to work.
I disagree. He's done. I just think he's coming back from whatever the injury was or whatever niggle he's had. I just think he needs time, man. He's one of those players that, he has his flaws, major flaws, that is, like in terms of his finishing, but he's someone that can press well, that's someone that can cause a lot of issues for the defense and open up opportunities for us. I'm not giving up on him yet, because I do think, there is a player there, and he just needs time to get back to fitness.
Yeah, bro. But blood, when is that going to happen? Because he keeps getting these knocks. Because for me,
he's an impact player, in it. Like, man, just
I can't kill a man. You're right. I can't kill a man for getting injuries. Yeah, but it feels a bit like Tomiyasu, which we'll get onto later. It's a thing where in preseason we was hearing Jesus look sharper than ever. Where these man were on holiday, he was working hard, he was doing all these things. Then you get injury again. Then you're playing catch up. Now I don't know if you lot saw the interview. I can't remember where it's from, but Theo Walcott was talking about the worst time. One of the worst times for a player to get injured is around preseason, because you're never quite at the level of your teammates. You can only you can get to a certain level, but you'll never be with them. That's how I feel about Jesus. And I look at it. There was a reality where if you said Gabriel Jesus or Kai Havertz up front, Jesus every day of the week, Havertz can't get near him. There's no reality where Havertz should be on the bench for Gabriel Jesus currently. And where does he come in? He comes in off the left for me, if anything, because it's open season out there. God forbid you're only playing on the right. Saka's in it.
We're hell bent on this idea of a starting 11, right? Now, what we've got to understand, it's not about a starting 11. It's not about
fam. Come on, man. Kai Havertz and Saka, their first choice.
No. But it's about a squad of 15 now. Like, we need to understand that games need to be changed and players need to come off the bench to impact games.
Which is true.
You know, Kai Havertz, look, brilliant play. He's my guy. Like, I'll always defend him. I've defended him from the day we signed him, even before that.
That's one thing people can't take from you.
But, the reality is, right, there's going to be games and there's going to be occasions in games where we need to bring something on to change it, the dynamic of the game. Now, look, I'm one of those. At the moment, the window isn't open, so I can't sit here and go get me a Nico Williams, go get me a Gukores, go get me,
I think everybody's like that. You're right. We have to deal with what we've got.
We need to look at, like, we've got a squad and we need to utilize it. And for me, Jesus isn't a starter, nor will he ever be one. But what he does bring us is tired legs, high energy, and he pushes teams back. That's what I want from him.
That's a problem. He's one of our highest paid players at the club. Gabriel Jesus.
I don't care.
No,
he's going to be sold, but right now I can't do that because the window.
No, but this is where when Hooks is saying he's done, like this is what he means. He's not saying he's completely finished. He's not going to have any impact in terms of the team. Jesus might score a last minute winner against Southampton, but in terms of his standings within this team, remember when he came in and how we all felt like DG. The reason why you feel like having affinity with him because he was on a different level,
resilient and on a different level, like you said. The first 6 months, amazing,
ridiculous. But then what was it that held him back? Which is holding him back now? Injuries, picking up that injury, not being able to get there. And that's what the whole gripe with the fan base is about with Thomas Partey, Tommy Asu. That's my thing with Jesus. He was looking sharp.
You're not reliable anymore.
But that's limiting your thinking, though, because there's also an argument to be made that we needed those players to get to where we are. But then once their utilization,
100%, big them up for that.
Look, we've taken what we can from them, and they brought us to a level where now we're too big for them. Same with Kieran Tierney. Kieran Tierney was a guy that we all said should be the captain of Arsenal, blah 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 blah. But we then realized we were going to have this explosion in our progress, right? And look, certain players are going to become redundant. It's the same as like any organization that grows. You need to have those guys who are going to get you to a certain level, and then they become redundant. Like you don't need them no more.
Those wages aren't redundancy wages.
No. But for that time,
he's not on benefits, bro. He's one of the highest earners at the club.
Yeah, you guys are thinking with hindsight, though. You guys need to think in the moment of when we signed him. We had to do that. We weren't going to get these players unless we competed on a money front, on a financial front.
No, but that's what them man are saying. So it's like now time is advanced. It's looking mad.
Now it's on the now. I'm like, for me, yeah, he might be done for Arsenal, whatever impact left for the season.
Next summer, I don't know if
we needed to do that, and it's going to happen time and time again. There's going to be a moment where we say Kai Havertz is earning too much because now he's an impact player. There's going to be a moment where we now say that about Calafiori. There's going to be a moment we say that about certain players. You say that, but we said that about Jesus. We said that about Zinchenko. We've said that about many players in the past.
I can't. I think everyone knew Zinchenko. It weren't going to be a thing like that for the long term.
But what I'm saying is, we knew like at a certain point we were happy with the wages when Jesus signed. No one had a complaint that we're paying too much or with this.
I don't care what a man's getting paid, but I can't sit here and say people are chatting rubbish when they say earns a lot. He's not doing that.
There's a purpose to why we needed to do that, because at that time we weren't going to get these signings unless we competed at a financial front.
So
I don't do economy football, bro. I'm not an investment banker. Don't do them things there, yeah. So I don't really care about how much he's earning, yeah. But the one thing I do know, yeah, is bro, this brother is dead, bro. Cemetery settings, bro. He's finished, he's done. And the problem that I now have that was very clear in the game yesterday against PSG is he's taking minutes away from Ranieri, bro. Why is Trossard coming off for Jesus, who did absolutely nothing, when Ranieri's sitting there and could have come on for Trossard, and that's a positive thing. But so now Jesus not that I care, because I do the economy thing, we're paying him a large sum of money. He's not delivering. He's trying to do this FIFA street thing, bro. It doesn't work at the level of football that we're playing, bro. He's on the ball too long. He's too slow in making decisions, bro. And Ranieri's just sitting there, and I'm thinking, right, if Ranieri
that's not on Jesus. That's an Arteta question. No.
But be honest, we don't know what we're getting from Jesus anymore. I've got to be brutally honest.
You're doing a simple thing of transference, so you're saying a problem that's got nothing to do with the guy. That's not him being done. That's Arteta trusting him or wanting to play him. That's nothing to do with
what I see on the pitch, bro. That's why he's done.
That's fine. That's an opinion that you hold, but for me, it's like, yes, but he served a purpose. Hence why. That's why I get it. You're not talking the economy. I was more talking about the Chai comment when he said like 200 to 250k for a sub player. But at the end of the day, look, there is going to be a reality where our sub players are earning that much, and that's going to be a norm.
Yeah, but I don't care about the number. It's not the number I'm focused on. It's the fact that he is one of the highest paid players, and that by that standing, you simply. No. But you simply have to be one of the key players within the team to be that for me. Everyone questioned. Oh, why is Kai Havertz getting paid so much? Nobody's questioning it now because he's one of the key players. And my
deal till 2027 as well. Just looked up.
Kai Havertz does not leave this team right now, and that's a problem because I thought against Leicester he looked a bit leggy. And those types of games, what do we want? We want a Jesus to be coming on on and having an impact and taking minutes away. I don't think he's doing enough of that yet, Jesus. And that's where, when Hook says he's done, I would.
I don't know why I thought he'd get 15 league goals.
I would say he's done it.
At the time, that wage was justifiable.
Forget about the time. I'm talking about now. Yeah, let's talk about now.
What do you want them to do? They're not going to say, here's a lower contract. That's not
this is what I'm about to explain, because he's physically done. This is the problem. And we weren't able to get rid of him because there wasn't the interest there. That's obviously
you went on the Saudi thing and all of that.
So right now we need a higher out. I hope we do get it again. I don't have as much faith or as confidence in Jesus right now as I do in a Martinelli to get a higher output. But this is what we need. Look at that injury record, for goodness sakes.
Like, we'll allow him for the City thing. Like City's irrelevant, but boy.
Yeah, but every season since he's been here, he's had an injury that's kept him out for at least 5 games.
And the knee one's been the issue. For me, it's sad with him. It's like, it happened for Brazil. Like, when everybody was watching the World Cup, everyone saw him get that injury for Brazil. It's like, we knew it would be peak. But that was the beginning of the end. Now, I don't want to compare people, but I look at how Timber's come back from his thing and there's not been any real setbacks. I want that for Jesus because I love him as a player. I said I'll delete my YouTube channel if he gets 15 league goals. I was smoking something special, but it's looking mad for him. Like, the best ability you could have is availability. And I share, for what it's worth, I share a lot of what Souls is saying in that for the squad, and we've got what we've got, and we gave him the wages at the right time, a lot of the points. But the reality is everybody needs to pull their weight. What I liked about Jesus is take away the lack of goals. We all know he doesn't score goals. He was reliable. He was versatile. He was a fighter. All of these other buzzwords. Man, don't see that anymore, man. We don't. And you're not going. When are you going to get opportunity to do that?
I hear that, but what we've also got to look at, we've all said it. Kai Havertz, right, is the starter. Saka's the starter, and let's just say Martinelli, for argument's sake, is the starter. Or if you want to put Raheem Sterling, cool.
No, Martinelli's the starter. He started the most games out of all them. So you're right.
Or whoever you want to say, right? The front three is basically done even without Jesus. Now Jesus is lower in the pecking order, so we're not relying on him. I understand like the wages and whether you play. I'm not really that fussed. Like at the end of the day, we had to do what we had to do at the time to get him in. Now, for me, the reason why I'm not going to focus and fixate on a Jesus, and I'm going to accept him for what he is, which is an impact player or someone who's going to play a part role in League Cups or whatever, the FA Cup maybe against the lower oppositions. That's what he is. And if you accept it, you can kind of live with the reality of Jesus.
Didn't even bag against Bolton.
Now where I can hear the criticism or where I can hear, that he's like all of these sort of things is if the board don't move him on, if we don't sell him or if we don't do anything with him in the summer, if there's interest and we're not accepting it, then I have a criticism, not just for the player, but for the board as well. But at the moment, I understand why they wanted to keep him on, because there was a bit of that hope that, he's a utility player, that someone that's versatile. We've stripped the squad depth completely. Now, could we have kept ESR instead of Jesus? Yeah, there's always going to be an argument to be made, but he's an impact player. And
I would have preferred to keep Jesus, if I'm honest, out of him and Smith Rowe. My heart would say Smith Rowe, but out of the two, Jesus has been involved in these environments doing what we want to do, innit? Smith Rowe hasn't like that. Yeah. And Gabriel Jesus is more likely to be used than Smith Rowe. Like people always talk about, I do it myself. It's like you look at what Smith Rowe's doing for Fulham and you wonder, could he have done that at Arsenal? But all of us are smart enough here to know if he stayed at Arsenal, he wouldn't be doing that because he's been allowed to get a run of games. That's something that I don't see happening for Jesus and all of these bit part players at this moment in time.
But they don't need to. That's the thing. This is what I'm saying.
You do, though, surely.
But there's you have to evolve your thinking because we know what they are. We know, like, for example, we know what, like, Trossard, once Odegaard's back, is going to have limited game time. We know there's going to be players who, once certain players come back, they're going to start having limited game time. Like Thomas Partey, for example, he's going to be a big one that we're going to start thinking, once Merino's fully back and he's fit, he might be seeing the bench, and we're going to sit there and go, wait a minute, what's happened here? But we know that there's going to be certain players whose roles are going to be lessened because of the players we're bringing in. And that's Jesus, his role in the squad has just lessened.
But Souls, I know what you're talking about the role, but even when he's coming on, he's not looking good. That's the issue that we're having. Like, this is what we need to see an improvement from Jesus. Started against Bolton. He was very frustrating in that game, and that's against opposition, which was poor. It's very poor opposition, and he was very frustrating.
Battle. Crazy.
Exactly. Bro. They're in a relegation battle in League One. And I'm looking at him, and when I'm seeing him come
Sterling weren't amazing. He even got a goal and assist. Jesus, come on, bro.
I'm looking at him and I can see the physicality is weighing from him, even from last year. Again, when he came off the bench against Man United and made an impact there, that's what I want from Jesus, because with Kai Havertz right now, because
I mean,
he's
he's only
we
just
talk
come
about
back.
he's
So we
one of
can
the,
give
he's the
it.
main
I'm
man, one of
willing
the
to give
first
it a bit
names.
of time before I kind of sit there and go, he's completely done as a player. But
No,
I hear what you're saying.
He's not done for me. It's just I would
no,
describe it as peak, bro. I want to be
yeah,
wrong, but it's peak.
he's
Like I
not
don't think
looking
Hooks
good.
is wrong. I don't quite want to go over to that side, but he looks peak.
Again, I
Very peak.
don't blame. I'm not. I'm with DG. I'm with
If you're
DG
Brazilian,
on
I'll
the
support
fence.
Brazilians to the death, man. But it's looking peak. It's
But,
scary, boy.
But I can hear
Scary.
what Hooks is saying, and I've got more. That's when I said I'm not defending that the same way I defended Martinelli. Like that's where.
Yeah,
Hooks
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah.
So why do you back Martinelli more than Jesus? T for argument's
From
sake.
performances, from what I've seen from Martinelli, that's why. And
Fair.
again, I think he has played well in the beginning of this season. I even think the last game against Everton, I think Martinelli played quite well, and that's the difference. Whereas with Jesus, we haven't seen that. We haven't seen that physicality. We haven't seen what he can give us in terms of stretching and yeah, like I'm missing that. You know that aggressive presser that we've even saw off the ball. Forget what it was, the magic he was giving us on the ball. That aggression, that physicality in those duels, like what Mikel Arteta really prides himself off. We haven't seen that with Jesus, but with Martinelli, my word, even if he's having a bad day in front of goal defensively, you cannot fault him.
Yeah, but you're comparing a player that should be fit to a player that we don't know how fit he is.
And the only reason, and again, what I think is, what people would also say is with Martinelli, he wasn't able to build any consistency because he kept picking up injuries last season. But we're not making excuses for that, are we?
That's a very good comment. Still, like
he picked up injuries
all in his head.
Hey, listen, we're all hypocrites in our own ways, all right?
Don't make excuses around these sides, bro. You get me? You play dead, bro. We just call it out, man. Jesus is cooked, bro. Cooked like Sunday breakfast, bro. He's done, bro. Like we just have to accept it, bro. He needs to go to Spain or maybe back to Brazil.
He's been linked with Brazil. That's the thing. The clubs he's linked with, Brazil, Saudi. It's a bit for someone that Real Madrid, Chelsea, as well as Arsenal want to.
Back to the goo, like we're a harsh team.
But he needs to go back. Maybe he just needs to kick. The man that kick football on the beach, bro. What is it? The volleyball thing with the foot, bro. The beach. That's what man for go do, bro.
Slightly even futsal, man. He might do his thing there. I don't think Martinelli would futsal though either. What do you not make of? Because you said it there, Sauls, yeah, and it opened up a talking point, like it sparked a conversation starter for me. You mentioned when Merino's basically fit, kind of like Partey could get dropped. Now I don't disagree with that because I personally feel long term or for some sort of point it's going to be Odegaard, Rice, and obviously Merino. But on current form, I don't think Rice gets dropped. I wouldn't drop him. But could you argue Partey's been our best performing midfielder? So should he be dropped for Mikel Merino when the time comes?
Does anyone else want to answer it before I go? Or
no,
take the floor, lads. Don't be shy.
I'll chime in a little thing before I head out. Yeah. So for me, yeah, I think it's absolutely ludicrous for any Arsenal fan to say that Partey should be dropped for Merino because Merino's not gonna do what Partey does because there is
there's
not even really too many DMs in the world of football that can do what Partey does. If we play Rice, Merino, yeah, as the pivot, who's playing the line breaking passes?
I'm looking at Mikel to do that, man. I've had enough of Rice trying to do that. I just want to see Rice back in the 6. I'll be real. I love him trying to do the 8 thing, but bread and butter 6 roll stuff, man. You're right.
You think Merino can do the Partey thing?
Not as much, but I think he can play not to Partey's level, but I think he can pass the ball forward a lot more than Rice. But there's not enough guile in there. That's where I'm with you. There's not enough of that in there.
If we're complaining about our chance creation being low now, yeah, take Partey out of the team. Yeah, you man are gonna be vexed, bro.
No,
I'll tell you that for free, bro. I'll tell you that for absolute free, bro. Like, look, at some point, obviously, because Partey is uncle now, isn't it? So obviously, at some point, he's gonna get phased out. But I don't think it'd be wise to force the phase out, which is what I get the vibe from a lot of Arsenal fans is they just think by default, as soon as Merino's fit, Partey's gone. Like, I don't think that's the case, bro. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think that it's more of a bed Merino in. Maybe certain games he's more suited to play than Partey. Maybe certain games he's more suited to play than Declan Rice. We'll find out. But it's not like, Merino, you good to go, yeah? Yeah, boss, I'm good to go. Okay, Partey bench. I'm sorry, bro. For me, that can never be the case, innit? So, Yeah, at least that's my thoughts on it, innit? You know what I mean? Those are my opinions, innit?
Fair enough, man. Well,
I think that's what I said. Before you go, Souls, I think that's what I said because I feel like I've been one of the few people, especially at the timeline, trying to defend Partey ever since he's got back in the team in terms of what he gives us and what we've really missed. And again, the results prove it. We haven't lost a single game since Partey's been starting. Not a single one.
I have to big him up for his fitness as well. It's amazing right now. Exactly. I can't lie to you.
Whilst building that up, and you can see the rustiness and what he's lost physically, but what he offers us in possession, that's irreplaceable. And it's going to be interesting to see how Arsenal set up when we do go for a Rice and a Merino. I mean, big up to yourself, Hooks, man.
One love, my guy.
But it will be interesting to see what we do because I think maybe Calafiori takes on a bit more responsibility in terms of in possession there as well.
Let me stop you there, yeah. That brings up a good point, yeah. I love what and we're definitely going to have to go over our fullbacks. I love what our fullbacks do. Benjamin White, Timber, Calafiori, etc. But aren't we going back into a scary territory if we're looking at our fullbacks to be the primary build-up play does? Because remember a few years ago, we were saying when there was no Zinni, when his stock was a lot higher, when there was no Zinni, we can't create. Ain't that a bit dangerous for us to be going down? Or surely the fullback should be like an extra buffer on it. It should be like dessert, really.
But then that's where what we have now is that we was totally reliant on Zinchenko then, whereas now we can have a Calafiori, we can bring in a Partey, we can still got a Zinchenko to come in, we still got Jorginho who's barely played, so we've got more options than we did in those couple of years ago, DG. So that's the difference, and yeah, I definitely do think so. Let's say when we play Liverpool at our home. I think if we can get Merino fit, that's a Merino Rice combination there because of what the physicality that they can give.
I'd love to have Odegaard for that, man. But
exactly. That might be a short turnaround for Odegaard, but we'll see. We'll see maybe after the international break. But those types of fixtures is what I want. And then when it comes to going away to Anfield, going away to we're not going to go to Etihad again unless we face them in the Champions League or something. Then that's where I'm looking at. Again, it is a Merino Rice thing, but I'm happy even to go with a Partey. So it adds kind of what Saul said earlier. We don't need to be so fixated on starting 11s. Like, we can look at each game by game, what the opposition we're facing.
Different horses for different courses, and
isn't that what we love this Arsenal team about? We can go at home to Leicester, absolutely smash them. Scott create so many chances, dominate possession, all of this and that. And then PSG come, you try and break us down, and you can't do it.
But you got to remember, us Arsenal fans generally, we're new to this depth thing. We cry about depth. We need 2 of every position. We need this. We need that. Like everybody's saying, Benjamin White's done. They were, pardon my language, they were sucking him off for over a year, saying he's the guy, he's this, that, and the third. Like we're new to this. Like we're absolutely new to this. It's crazy. Generally, they're new to this, man, and they don't understand. And even with that, like us lot waffle. Fans are no different about our defensive depth, how we're the strongest there. That's being incredibly tested. Calafiori's been playing with knocks. We all know for the last over a year or so, even now, Benjamin White's got knocks. Timber's done very well, in my opinion, coming back from an ACL, really and truly, to play the amount of games and high-intensity games. And for the vast majority of them, play actually 90 minutes. So it's like you need depth, but people don't get it, really. Until it's their favorite player, there's issues, man. And that brings me on to what I want to ask you lot as well, like, I know we said different horses for courses and etc. But do you not believe not Benjamin White, Timber and Calafiori are first choice fullbacks now? And Arteta this week spoke about, natural footers on one side where you've got Calafiori obviously left footed and you've got Timber likewise on the other side. Where are you lot's thinking at with that currently?
That's a tough answer because
you have to ask tough questions, man.
Yeah, because it's not a case of like, White's my guy, so I want to kind of support him or whatever. I feel like the fullbacks are going to be genuine horses for courses. I feel like that's where we're going to see the most rotation happen because there are going to be games where we can do it the most. Natural ability to kind of overlap and actually create that white, the width on the right hand side is going to be crucial. Where we said, yes, I know Timber can do it, but Timber for me is more of an inverting kind of fullback, whether he's on the left hand side or it comes up from the right, and that's where Calafiori. I feel like what you're gonna start to see is partnership being formed even from a fullback perspective. So if White's playing, you may see like a Timber or a Zinchenko play, and when Calafiori needs to play left back, you'll see Timbers play right back, or potentially whether we sign someone or whatever, someone that can invert from the right hand side because when you've got Timber,
Imagine
for
where you
example,
throw Tommy into this
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah. Well, Tommy will play more of a Calafiori, so he'll be the understudy of Calafiori. So like when Calafiori can't play and we want to play that type of a player, then Tomiyasu will come in. Because what you've got to understand is there is certain balances that Arteta wants to create. He wants to have one person come into midfield as much as possible. That's going to be your Timber. That's going to be your Zinchenko. Then he wants to have one of your fullbacks holding width on one of the sides because he likes to play an asymmetrical system. And that's one of the key reasons why even when we initially started to look at fullbacks, we bought Tomiyasu in because he's at, what's the team that he came from? Anyway,
Bologna, is it Bologna?
Bologna played the same system, 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, but it was an asymmetrical system where the left-hand side was unbalanced to the right-hand side. So he naturally already had the instincts of playing that. So when we're looking at the same kind of systems, one fullback will always invert, one fullback will hold width. So what you'll start to see is that partnership being formed where two types of fullbacks will always play. So if Timbers got injured, you'll see Zinchenko come in. But if, for example, if Calafiori was injured and we had to play Timbers left back, Ben White will come in. And that's what we need to start thinking. This is similar to what you're saying, that we need to understand we've got squad depth, we've got profiles, and those profiles make this system. And now what Arteta's doing is he's training them to understand that the right-hand side can do the same thing. Because one of the things that we did last season, which kind of messed up everything, was when we put Partey to play that role at right back against Nottingham Forest.
Please, never see that again.
Because the problem wasn't that it was Partey. The problem was we've never done it before. So the team just wasn't used to it. Like the dynamic in their heads didn't work. Saka wasn't used to it. Odegaard was a bit like, wait a minute, where's my guy that's going to overlap me? Because it just didn't feel right for them. So what he's done well. He's catered this right. He's phased it in quite right. He's done it in preseason. He's doing it now, and I feel like that's what you're going to see. So the answer isn't Calafiori and Timbers are our first choice. Calafiori, I feel like it's invert and a fullback are our first choice. Whoever fits that profile.
Do you know what?
To that, man?
I hear what you're saying, Souls, and I do think long term that is the case. But for right now, Timber especially, I don't think there's anything that, and it's not to say I'm not getting Ben White out of course, because there's going to be his time where he's going to start and he'll get a run of games and things, and I'm happy for that. But there's nothing that what Timbers are like that Ben White offers that I'm not seeing from Timber right now, especially in the 1v1 defensively. I do think Timber is better in that.
Probably only got heading over him, if I'm honest.
Yeah, maybe, but
he's honest, and it's not even that much. But
yeah. But then look at how strong he is and aggressive he is on the front foot in defending.
That's the key word, aggression.
Cola, that aggressiveness that
he's a unicorn, man.
Shrugged him off. It's mad. Like what he lacks in height, he certainly has in terms of his stats.
You know, the thing is, don't even lack height. I swear he's 6 foot. It's just you're next to guys that are 6'4", 5", all these crazy things. I look at Timber and I'm like, you probably 5'8" like me, and then I deep it like, no, you're actually not. You're just around some smart and duns, like some giants. You don't look that tall.
It's true, bro. It's true, but
because you forget that Saka's 6 foot something as well. Like you just forget these guys are actually tall.
Yeah, Saka. To be fair, in the last, maybe because Saka's getting a bit bigger, but now he's starting to look his height. The rest didn't. Martinelli's another deceiving one. Like, who's probably the shortest on our team? Probably Trossard, isn't it? Really?
Trossard's tiny. Trossard, in that training picture, he's like here. Here, like damn.
Yeah, exactly. And I think now the only thing that I'd probably say is missing is probably that overlap. But I think as he starts to build that relationship, which is what Mikel Arteta is very, very pressing on. He loves his players in terms of relationships. I think that's why we are seeing a Trossard and Havertz situation, because he likes that, because he knows them to get along with each other off the pitch.
Even Havertz said we work on that goal in training, to aid your point. He's like, we work on it all the time. The one he scored against PSG.
Yeah, so that's massive, and we saw a lack of rotation even when players were fit with Odegaard, Saka, and White last season, because those three spent a lot of time together. Even in Dubai, they did. So those things on the pitch, I think they're very important. And now Timber is building that with Saka. We saw with the cross for Martinelli's goal and Leicester. I think we'll start to see that a little bit more. Of course, it's just about staying fit now with Timber. So I think it'll be very difficult for Ben White to get straight back into the team. But again, I remember saying this last season with Tomiyasu, because do you remember this period, man? Then Tomiyasu was actually getting a few starts, but the problem is, and Tomiyasu was looking quite well, and Ben White had a knock then there too. But the problem was, Tomiyasu got injured. That was the issue.
Yeah, and he was actually improving in the final third. Like Tommy's never going to be anything respectfully to scream and shout about in the final third. But then he gets his injuries, and I love Tomiyasu. That's why you always probably hear me in sneaky and indirect ways always try and keep his name going when we're talking about the fullback things. The only thing with Tommy for me is the injuries. Like, you're on the pitch, you're reliable. Off it, you're not in it, and that's why I don't think you got a proper renewal. I think the club like you and they rate you, but you just can't stay fit. You're becoming a flight risk, and the better we get. You have to, I don't think we'll sell all of them, but you do look at the Tomiyasus, the Gabriel Zeuses, the Zinchenkos, anyone who's Jesus, if I haven't said it, the guys that pick up injuries and they're out of it. This is where the club might be thinking, oh, you know what? Something might have to happen. Now, everybody gets injured. No one will kill Timber for an ACL. These are freak things that happen, but yeah. What have you lot made of Calafiori defensively? Because for me, I rate him heavy. I think he's great defensively. I love his mentality. I love his overlaps, his underlaps. Yesterday against PSG, seeing him as a right centre mid, he's got the license to roam. But I do think I agree with Toby here. I'm not worried about it because I think he can improve, but there's been some fragilities. Like against Leicester, he's not looked over his shoulder. There's little things that he needs to tweak that are quite not concerning, but they're concerning because they might harm us at a point. But what do you lot think of that? I think Toby's bang on the money.
It's new league syndrome, and it's like when you join a new league,
Slightly,
a lot faster. Look, Serie A is a lot more slower, so you have that extra, let's say, second to think about things. Whereas in the Premier League, you can't think, and the difference between like players who have grown up, like anyone who's played academy football for at least a Premier League side, even as a sort of youth and development level. You'll understand that the first thing that they teach you, you don't have a second to think. You're not allowed to think. You've got to be on it.
You know what you're doing before it even happens.
Scan. Whereas, because I've been in these sort of setups even against the Italian sides as well when I was playing football, and it's a little bit different. It's a lot slower. Even when you play against the academy sides, you'll notice that you have a bit more time because their sort of work isn't done to press you. It's done to defensively be solid. So
you see that in the champs, to be fair, it's a good point.
So when you see, like, for example, when they come over, it's getting adjustments to it. But I think the difference between someone like Calafiori and, let's say, another player, the reason you can give him time to adjust is he has the attributes. It's just a case of learning the pace of the game and learning that, those seconds that you may have, it's muscle memory because he's Italian and he's grown up Italian. So it's difficult for them and it's going to take maybe a few games because all of his mistakes, I'm just calling it a mistake, right? Like the Savinho goal, for example, or, the moments like he did get ripped in the Leicester game as well. It's nothing concerning because they can be fixed. It's just a
minor little tweak.
Concentrate, just understand that this is not the Serie A. And I think give him like 15, maybe 20 games in the league, maybe this season, and you'll see like a completely different monster. And we've got to remember the guy's 20 or 21. It's going to happen.
For a defender, he's a baby, really. Let me see actually how old he is.
22.
He's
younger than Saka, actually.
Still fairly young.
22. So, yeah, and I agree with Souls in that in terms of the mistakes that he's making are things that are bedding in problems. I think he's raw as well. Even from when I saw him in the Euros defensively, he does have a bit of that rawness. Kind of what we saw with Gabriel when he first
only had 43 appearances in Serie A as well, so he's still a baby, kind of.
Yeah, he still ain't cracked 100. Yeah, he ain't cracked 100 at the top level yet. So he's still got a lot to learn. And you can see that the few balls, DG, you're a fullback, man. You know them balls that go over the top. If that ball goes over your head, you're in the wrong position.
You're in the wrong position.
Ball lands to them. You know it, and that's
I make the exact same mistakes he makes every week on Sunday. That's why I'm saying you need to change it, bro.
I'm your centre back telling you, yo, DG, bro. that's what it's like. So 100%. So you know that, but again, those are issues that there will only be issues if it's a long-term thing. Then he keeps making those mistakes. But whilst it's early on. I still trust him in his 1v1 battles. I still trust him in that. He's kind of off the ball when the winger makes that little darting run. I think he'll learn a lot from Saka with that because Saka's one of the best wingers in the world off the ball in his movements. So
he needs to be defended against him in training. He'll learn even quicker. Quicker. Like.
He will learn even quicker. So it's just getting used to it, as Saul says, and getting to grips with the Premier League because of how sharp the wingers are. It's completely different in Serie A. Completely different.
It's different to any league in the world. Like that's the one unique factor that we have is every other league is a lot more slow, tactical, methodical. There's a lot more kind of I want to say predictability. It's
like a chess match.
Yeah. It's a lot more kind of like you're aware of the dangers. Whereas with the Premier League, there is that freedom to be creative.
And it's that
Like
intensity.
NBA, it's just grrr.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, DG. The intensity that it's at. Soon as you've lost the ball or team starts moving, it's at a mad, ridiculous speed, which he's not going to be used to. So, yeah, man, I'm very happy with him, though, with overall, because, man, what he's given us in possession, how brave he is. I don't think he's as good or fluid as a natural as Zinchenko, but with how brave he is and how he's able to get around the pitch and carry, that's what Zinchenko doesn't give us. And defensively in his jaws and how strong he's there, man. I'm just so excited to see the level that he can get to, because he can clearly see Arteta trusts him and puts a lot of reliance on him. It's like what he said. He said if it was any other player in that Man City, I wouldn't have brought him in for their debut. But because it's Calafiori, because it's Ricky, as he likes to call him, and that's how he knows how much of a personality he is. And this is where we're starting to see it now. With him,
I saw him smoke a vape against PSG as well. I don't know if my man's playing games with him, but he's a madman.
Because I'm actually like, I'm mad because like what?
Nah,
what
he ain't a vape. It's one of them gels.
Oh,
because they look Vicky. But it wouldn't surprise me. Them Italian players love a smoke, man. As long as you do the business on the pitch.
It's like Sari with his cigarettes when he's at Lazio.
Yeah, man.
Seeing that. But nah, man. Yeah, again, it's going to be interesting. Now, I want to ask you, man, this question now, because with how he is right now, and if all players are fit, game of your life, let's say Champions League final tomorrow, who do you start at left back?
It's not really fair to Calafiori though, man, because he's been there for 2 minutes. It's not fair because of that, and it's not fair because you said gave me a life.
My first instinct is who we
I'm not
play.
gonna lie. Benjamin White. Benjamin White and Timber. Benjamin White and Timber, man.
Who we play? Am I allowed to know the opposition or no?
And then you can throw Tommy in there.
Yeah.
In fact, that's a good question, Souls. Who's the opposition?
Man City or Real Madrid? It could be either one of them.
Okay, so you're talking Savinho, or you're talking he's going to come up against Rodrigo. Sorry.
I fit Tomiyasu. Fit Tomiyasu left back.
That's
Timber
the
right back.
It might be different towards the end, but it's just interesting to see where you think he's at now in his point.
All right, all fit. The squad is.
If you
fit.
ask me that a year from now,
game of our life. First, like one of the first Champions League I'm going to actually get to witness. So, who do I want to see? That's a
key thing he said, like game of your life. Like you might flatlined if you don't win, bro.
Okay, so he's going to have Vinny, Rodrigo running at him.
It's a Tommy.
Calafiori and Timbers.
It's a Tommy tick for me. If you're playing against them,
Do you know why I say this, Nana? Do you know why I say this, right?
It's a Tommy tick.
I feel like Calafiori is going to clothesline Rodrigo and just put the fear of God in him. He's going.
But I think Calafiori is a bit too emotional in games like that, man.
The man's going to do an Italian barge, yeah. I'm going to turn him into a calzone.
But Tommy's going to stay with him like a rash. And Tomiyasu's not a bad guy. Just going to smile with him.
The difference is, so Calafiori pushes them back as well. They've got two.
That's also true.
Whereas with Tomiyasu, yeah, you're going to be like, right, you know what? I can stay higher. That's going to make Tomiyasu's game worse for him because he's going to be in behind him.
Yeah, but we just spoke about little minor things like the Leicester game or whatever. You do that against Real Madrid. Plus, Tommy, one thing I think people forget, not that Calafiori and all these guys can't, but one thing I think people forgot about Tommy was his ability in the air. Like, it gave us a lot, like, just because he would win those headers.
He's got that, come on.
He's got that, but I think that's Tommy's bread and butter, man.
Do you remember Tommy against Salah as well? Tommy against Salah, just wrapped up. Like,
this is what I'm saying. We got to respect our Japanese Swiss Army knife a little bit, man. Because he said game of our lives. And again, the sample size for Calafiori is a bit peak. Like, there's a bias. I want to, fuck it. I'm changing my mind again. Tomiyasu Timber. Timber just do something wavy down the right. Yeah, man. A part of me wants to say Benjamin White, Tomiyasu, or Timber and Calafiori.
It could be like, Actually, do you know what?
We've got good options,
you said, actually, the question was they're all fit. So the midfield that I go with is Declan Rice and Merino. I don't need dual monsters.
Against Real Madrid?
Yeah. No, because like Merino and Rice are there. So we've got two dual monsters in the midfield. We've got Gabriel Saliba. Do you know what? Yeah, I'd go Timbers and Ben White. Fuck it, attack him. I'm letting my hound dogs out.
Nah, I'm gonna say Tomiyasu become invert as a third centre half. Timber, you've got the keys to run forward, man.
Again,
I'll try to hit him down the right.
Timber or Tomiyasu.
Is there no way of like just smashing people together and just merging them into one player? Like, can we not do none of this?
I just think that Tomiyasu at this moment in time I like what he can give you at left back in terms of aerially dominant, 1v1 dominant. And it's mad to say because I don't
He's a
think we've
closer
seen
now,
Timber
man.
at his best inverting from left back yet. I don't think we have. Against Villa, I didn't
Do you
think he
want
was
him to invert
great.
against Real Madrid, though? I wouldn't. I just want him to be a solid brick wall.
No,
That's a point. But if you lock down their midfield, you have half a chance. Then the only thing you can't factor for with Real Madrid is you try and win the tactical battle. But again, they've got the individual brilliance of Vinicius and all them guys. Like,
I just want someone who's going to put a double footer on him. Just say, like, look, I'm here. I'm here.
and that's what I think Tommy does. Tommy is going to stay with him like a rash. He might get injured halfway through the game, but he's going to stay with him. Like, Calafiori. But then again, you could start all the other options.
You know what's actually beautiful? How is this a debate? Like, as
you know
Arsenal fans, how are we debating this? Like, it's crazy.
Facts. From the Cedrics and the Bellerins and the way.
Because
more players than
I have my answer straight away. I'm like, yo, anyone but Bellerin, anyone but Cedric, I'll be happy. Just take someone from the crowd.
What, none of you going to start Kivio or left back?
No. You don't like the sympathy minutes just so he gets his medal. Yeah. Why not?
no chance.
What do you not make of the future of Kivio? Because I don't think he has one at Arsenal, but I do think he's one that polarized opinion. Some people have him as like, sometimes I'll read social media after a game and I'm like, you definitely didn't watch it because you're gassing up Kivio. But at the same time, some people are attacking the guy and making out that he's mad dead. He's not that. I hear it that he's not a left back, but for me, whether you're a left back or not, you can still be switched on defensively. Now, yesterday against PSG, I think he did all right. And I think we actually have to count ourselves lucky that we never sold him because who else is going to play? You big up Lewis Skelly, but that's the only other option. But where are you at with Kivio?
For me, I think once you get comfortable that he's one of our lowest rotation, he is our Rob Holding, like in terms of minutes up.
He's even clear of Rob Holding. Look how far we've come.
Exactly. If you accept him as that, as someone who's going to come in and fill in at right centre back, left back, when the stocks are low, you'll be fine and you'll accept it and you'll move on because you'll take him for what he is. He's not going to come in and be a world beater. He's not. You wouldn't even want him starting in those big games. But if he is starting, you kind of have a level of comfort in terms of where you're not as worried as you were when Rob Holding was playing or when a Cedric was. I think you go down to what your fourth. Is he our fifth choice left back and our third choice left centre?
Probably our like eighth choice to come in.
It's probably ahead of Kieran Tierney.
Yeah, exactly. So that's really good, and he's a Polish international that's doing that as well. So yeah, I'm happy with him. I didn't think again. I think DG hit the nail on the head before you go on. Souls is that he's so polarizing. Like people talking that he was amazing yesterday. He wasn't amazing, but he was decent. He was solid, and I was
just
happy
did his thing.
That. Yeah. There was no trouble that was being caused down there. If it was Ousmane Dembele, again, it might have been a different story. But he didn't look up against him.
The thing with Ousmane Dembele is, he might get ripped, but then Sky.
Probably. But yeah, then I don't think he was as awful as what people make out either. So as long take him as what he is, a rotation option at the best. And what would you call him? He's our defibrillator. Or emergency break glass player.
Yeah, man. He's just cool to be here. Like, even I would, the saddest thing with Kivio, I'd like to see you get a run at centre half because I think that's you. The left back thing is dead. Like left back where there's no real questions being asked of us. Kind of like, do you remember like the turn of the year when we were battering teams? Kivio was in the team. Nothing was really said. That you can play then in them kind of games. When it's kind of neck and neck, I think you're in problems. I'd love to see him play centre half, but then I could even argue. Where would you like how much do you, we just spoke about where he ranks at left back? Where would you rank him at centre half? Because Saliba, Gabriel ahead of him. I don't want to see Benjamin White go back there, but Benjamin White's probably ahead of him. Timber ahead of him there. Tomiyasu ahead of him. I might even be missing someone.
He's just the eighth choice. Like that's how
maybe even Declan Rice. If it came to it like that, maybe even Declan Rice. It's peak.
Now, do you know what it is, right? Look, I see him as an upgrade to the squad in terms of.
Yeah, he's calm.
In, like, do you know if, like, for example, when we were looking at those Rob Holding moments, for example, let's put Kivio in them. I actually feel comfortable. I feel like, you know what, he can do a job. He'll come in. He'll be a solid 6, 7, whatever. He'll do his job and
just do his thing.
But he's not a guy that makes high volume mistakes. He's not a guy that loses his head. He's just there. He's reliable. He's dependable. And I like. Do you know what it is? I feel like we need to get used to that. You know, you're gonna have what we call squad players, people who are just gonna be. You may need them, you may never need them, but if you do, and he's not a guy that for me that needs that sort of I need 5 games to see the best of you. No, it's just like he comes in and he does a job, even if he's not played for 10, 15 games prior to that. So I feel like it's a good thing. He's got good attributes that for a squad, especially like for example, the Bolton game could have been perfect to play him because I feel like he's reliable for them. That's how I feel about Kivio. I know his role. I accept him for what he is, which is like an 8th choice defender. He's not going to really see the pitch. I mean, you know, unless something catastrophically wrong with like all our defenders were wiped out, that's when we'll see Kibio. So I'm comfortable, man. The guy, look, he's not kicking up a fuss. It's a bit like El Neni. Like El Neni came in, he did his thing, and then went home. Like you wouldn't hear him in the media. You wouldn't hear him going to Arteta's office and going, "I demand."
Very self-aware.
It's just he understands his role. He knows what he needs to do. We need that. As much as like you know, we want the level raises. We also need those players that are just accepting that their squad depth because that's needed as well.
Especially right now, Sauls, whilst we've got players out injured and we got players at different levels of fitness, you know, with Timber, even though he's fit. I know we picked up that little injury yesterday, but that's because we're able to manage his minutes now. The fact that we're not having to, you know, put Timber in life or death situations where he could be injured for so long. Like,
and Benjamin White, I know we had to bring him on against City, but him as well.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he did all right. I think he tried too hard against City, which is why they scored the equaliser. But again, I'm much happier with that we've got Kivior. Then again, I love Miles to bits, but again, putting him in this situation in defence, left back right now, I'd be like, ooh, I don't know, man. It's a bit of a risk.
What it is? It's their attitude. It's him and Ethan's mentality for me, man. They just don't give a shit.
They get it.
Yeah, they do absolutely. But again, it's experience part in it. Like
that's the only thing Kivior's got, in my opinion, got over Lewis Skelly right now. That push comes to shove, Arteta might know. You know what, Kivio, you're going to give me a 5 out of 10. Miles might give me a 10 out of 10, or as a young player, might make a mistake. I'd say the one thing that I think goes against Kivio is, you know, Benjamin White's like across the board at all defensive aspects. He's probably a 6, 7 at things, but he doesn't do anything outstandingly well. Timber's obviously got his own qualities we've spoken about. That Calafiori the same, Tomiyasu the same. For whether we like him or not, Zinni in the attacking half. I don't think Kivior's got anything outstanding about him. And if he does, that his personality hasn't transpired on the pitch. Because I must admit, not to make it like this, when I heard Polish defender, well, you know, when you hear like Poland and Serbia and all these countries, you think they're madmen. Like, you've got to kill me to concede. Marry that in. You've been in the University of Defending, which is Italy. I thought he would be a bit more puffing out chest. He's a bit timid, and that's why I wonder for Kivio, how long are you going to stay at Arsenal? I don't know if Arteta gassed you to stay. He said you get chances. I don't know if offers came your way that you didn't go on. I don't know if you want to go in January. I don't know if Mikel Arteta says that's sensible for you to go in January, but I'll be keen to see, because you're not going to, and with what you've shown right now, you're not going to get a better gig than Arsenal. You might leave and go somewhere and then make a next move elsewhere, but we'll have to see. Before I close this up for you lot, man, because I'm wasting a lot of you lot's time, yeah? We got to talk about Southampton. Do you go with the same team? Do you make slight rotations? Where you at with Southampton, which is a bogey team, and we can diss them about conceding goals and fighting relegation. You'd imagine Ramsdale, as Hook said earlier, he's going to turn into a prime Manuel Neuer or Buffon or Casillas, man. Where you look at with Southampton, it is also these kind of games which could happen against Leicester on paper that we should be winning. Is the banana skins, man?
Is it at St Mary's or is it?
No, it's at the Emirates, man. St Mary's is one of the last games of the season, or the last game of the season.
Lightwork. I mean, I'm confident at home. Even though our away record has obviously spoken for itself, but I am quite confident if they come to our ground, we'll deal with them. But you're right though. Traditionally, they have been a bogey team. But you know what we do with the bogey teams under Arteta is we destroy them. You know, we don't really let them breathe for a lot longer, and we kind of nip them in the bud. So look, I think in terms of the team, I think Arteta will probably pick the same team because he likes that consistency. But what I want to see Ethan, man. I want to see him start because I feel like
I'd love to see Ethan start.
Because his minutes are only going to get limited because Odegaard is rumored to be coming back after the international break in terms of he's going to come off the bench. He's going to get sort of feel minutes to see how he's feeling, like 10, 15, 20 minutes, to get him ready. And what I've been told is that Liverpool game is the game that they're trying to get him ready for. So whether that's true, whether he has any setbacks, obviously that time will tell. But his minutes are coming to an end in terms of Odegaard coming back. So I want to see him against Southampton. I wanted to see him against Leicester because they're the kind of games where the opposition isn't as strong. But I understand what you mean, the banana peels, you have to still. But what I want is let's just get the same team, get the 3-0 at halftime, and then bring the Ethan.
Then bring
like when the game feels done.
I'm with you with that, man. I think the only changes I'd consider, I wouldn't necessarily do it, but do you give Sterling his first chance, his first start at the Emirates in the league? Do you potentially play Ethan? Do you see what you could do with Mikel Merino? But then, like you said, I just think you go out there with the strongest team, get the 3 points because it is still a Premier League game and we keep it moving. T, where you at?
Yeah, I am in agreement with both you, man. Just keep it really similar, the same. And the only reason I say that is because the international break that's coming up, it breaks.
Yeah, definitely strongest team now. Forgot about that. Definitely strongest team
because of that. Because you see, like, there's. I'd like to say, oh yeah, let's just save our players. Let's get a few minutes out there, and then for their nations to run them dry, like this.
Saka, you know what to do. Limp. Teach everyone how to limp, and then just pull them all out.
Well, Saka, you need to pull out of England duty. Like you've got 100% attendance. Pull out of it, man, because the international breaks has been what's harming us, man.
I'm not why we need to make them substitutions at 60 minutes. Saka, you come off. We can bring Ethan or Jesus on, or even a Sterling, and then just say, Saka, you got to let me
take the limp biscuits. I'll take the limpy. Oh, look, limp.
Yeah.
I'll take that. Go train the squad how to limp, and then just call up these international teams and go, look, yeah, you see, he was limping. There's been a bit of a knock. Fabricate the.
We need to start being nasty like that. We're the only team that don't do them things.
I don't care. Fabricate that shit. Sick everything.
It's not going to kill you. Rice as well.
Yeah, Rice, definitely, because these are players that have come off of a mad summer. It's the English players that I'm looking at, mainly because of that, because if they played that all summer, come back. You can see it took Rice a while to get back.
Mainu's had a hamstring injury as well now. So
Sure. See what I'm talking about. He's
all right now, apparently. He's back. He's been back in
Cole
training.
Palmer pulled out of England. Look how he's flying. And he's been in the England side 2 minutes. Saka, you've done your thing. Pull out.
Foden's only just come back. And you didn't do anything at the Euros, and he's only just come back to playing. So, for me, definitely put the strongest team out, and we got to be clever with that. Take off your Rice, take off your Sakas, and say they're finished. We need to get minutes for Merino. Like, this is so important now, DG and Souls, because, guys, we've got a heavy fixture congestion coming, but we still don't have a lot of minutes in the tank for the likes of Merino, Sterling, Jesus, these guys, and they're going to have to play a big part in this somewhere, somehow, because we can't keep putting out Havertz for 90 minutes and just expecting him to. It's crazy how fit he is and how
another one that plays clear games.
Yeah, so many games, so many minutes. The same with Saka, the same with Rice, and we need to get those players to be able to come off the pitch because they're always going to start.
I don't want to jinx it, Saliba as well.
Again, I don't think you'll take off centre backs because of how Arteta sees them, because it's a lot less demanding physically.
No, I'm speaking purely about, bro, France. You don't need to be there for once. You don't need to be there. You're gonna win World Cups and Euros one day for France. Pointless friendly.
Do you remember when everyone's crying out for him? Oh, Deschamps is an idiot. I thought Deschamps was a genius for not playing.
Yeah, he's a genius. Man, I never want to see Benjamin White bless the England beef anymore as well. Another one that you thank the Lord that he's actually going to be spending at London Coley or whatever.
Exactly.
Timber, I know you want to play for Holland. If you get called up, please, man, put the club before the country on this occasion, please.
100%, because it's important because we're actually trying to win something. We're trying to win the major things here, and we're going to need them. Again, the international break is going to be important because hopefully we get the likes of Zinchenko back at least, and I don't think Zinchenko is going to play major minutes for us.
But sit on the bench, man.
If he was fit, this type of game against Southampton, he'd come in and be able to play him in.
That scares me, You're right, but Zinchenko scares me. Like, I'm so confident with you in the middle and final third, but I think we all know going backwards. Yeah. Even him, I don't think he'll be here next year. I'll be real. I don't think he'll be here next year. I don't think you can wrestle your place back unless Arteta says you're going to be a midfielder. You're not touching. Of course, you are better going forward than every fullback that we have at this club because that's you naturally. But you're up here for attacking. You're down there for defending. Calafiori, there's a middle ground. Timber, there's a middle ground. Tomiyasu is more defensive centric, but you ask other people to do something, you get away with it. I think it's peak for Zinchenko, if I'm honest with you. And I like him. I know he's someone that divides opinions. I think we should use ironically, how we use Jesus and Zinchenko, bro, that we need to take a leaf out of City's book. They're sidemen, they're squad players, they can come in and do a thing. That it's levels in it. You don't always have to be a starter, man. But yeah, man. Hey, people, this has been a fantastic chat with you lot in the comments, and obviously my co-host. Let people know where they can find you if I let you lot get out of here, man.
Yeah, just simply Gooner.
Don't be shy, lads, man.
Yeah, just Gooner Souls on Twitter. You can find me there. Hopefully this is more regular because it is quite fun debating you guys.
No, it is, man. We're trying to make this a regular thing, man.
But it's good, man. Playing devil's advocate, just like, you know, poking the bear. It's always good.
Nah, big up Souls and DG and Hooks as well. Can't forget the main man as well from earlier.
Come on, shout Hooks as well.
But yeah, Tariq
I love poking that bear though. That bear is the best of all.
It felt like you two was disagreeing on everything today.
It's great for me because I'm just thinking, yeah, clipping this, clipping that content. We're gone.
It wasn't even to poke him. We just didn't agree. Like it wasn't even. But you know what it is? I like that because you know when you can disagree with someone, and it's not like that fight. It's not like oh my god, let's scream at each other.
We're grown men here, like people don't agree with everything. And what I like about us four, including Hooks, is if you're wrong, you will say, "Oh, in hindsight, you know what? I missed the boat with that," or "I like this, I like that." No one's right, no one's wrong. Unless you're Mikel Arteta, our opinions only matter to us. Like nobody's right, no one's wrong, no one knows. I know in football, everybody thinks they know more. I told you so, and all this stuff is jarring, but that's not what we're promoting here, man. So yeah, man.
But DG, tell them what they find. I would love it if Gooner Lee could come back here because
tell him stop hiding. Tell him stop hiding. People in the chat, tell Gooner Lee stop hiding because he was on my videos. All of a sudden, Martinelli scored. He's gone. Tell him to stop hiding. I'm gonna put a warrant out for his arrest, man. He needs to.
You called him out for the David Raya situation. Do you remember here last year?
See, he's gone missing.
Brother, he was not having any of my David Raya defenses.
He wasn't. Ramsdale, he was moving like a Brexit don. Like, Ramsdale's my guy, mate. He can't do anything wrong, you know what I mean? Like, no. We all liked Ramsdale. I must admit, even with Ramsdale, I thought Raya's better than you, but I thought he's in the same bracket. In hindsight, bro, Ramsdale, you're down there, bro. Raya's up there. Raya's probably the best performing goalkeeper in world football right now. I'm not saying he's the best. I want to stay calm with it, but yeah. Before we get out, I saw this comment, man, and this is upsetting. George said, "DG, your talking helped me bear with my mental health in the past, but I've massively fell off over time." George, that upsets me to hear that. All I can say is you're stronger than that, man. Just keep going, my dude. Just keep going, man. Don't give up, bro. Don't give up. Unfortunately, the world's gonna keep swinging. You know, if you got yourself into a good place and you've gone down, you can get back up there, my guy, man. Just keep doing your thing, bro. Reach
out to us, you know, if you ever need a conversation or anything.
Amen.
There's a lot of people out here who, you know, will have a conversation. So yeah, man, just stay strong. Shit happens. You know, it's a phase. It'll pass over. Just keep going.
And George, the fact that you're still here now, bro, big up to yourself each and every time, my man. Like the fact that you're still coming in, tuning in, and big up.
I'm saying?
Love each and every time. The fact you're here, bro, is a big thing, and yeah, it's a blessing. And yeah, love to see you in here, George. And Arsenal, is he an Arsenal fan? Do you know he's an Arsenal fan?
Yeah. He's part of the furniture here, man. He's here all the time, bro.
You know what I mean? Even when it's difficult, we're all here together. Do you know what I mean? And so big up to yourself, George, each and every time.
You got this, George, man.
It's a big mud and that, so you know what? He's got the respect.
Yeah, man. He's part of the community, man. It's exactly that, man. Just keep going. Even when you think no one cares, we care about you, George, man. Just hold your head up, man. But on that note, I'm going to let the lads go and enjoy the Champions League football. Don't forget to follow them on their platforms. Peace. One love, guys. Safe. Always